before your day of unveiling. That God can speak to you even when the devil has said you're going to die. And when they said you're dead. But 9 years later, you're living to tell the story. That's how great my God is. That you can get to the hospital and don't know who you are, where you are, what you are, and be there 9 days in that same condition, but suddenly awaken. We're talking about God that not only can be can and was resurrected, but we're talking about a God that's able to resurrect you. See, we need to be able to give the testimonies that God has given us that's going to help people to understand that God's not playing and He got more power than the enemy that comes to try to invade our lives and take away our hope. Well, here I am. It's who I am. I ain't trying to be nobody else. And I've never tried, because I've always been kind of acceptable of who God made me. With all of my idiosyncrasies and all my different thinking from a lot of other folks who even said I was crazy. But even though somebody was saying I was crazy because of what I thought and my convictions, I worked psychiatry and I had a key. So I couldn't have been too crazy. But they didn't keep me on psychiatry. They let me have a key so I could go out when I got ready. Do you understand what I'm saying? Look at somebody and say, when you're free, you're just free. You're just free. And you don't have to have nobody convince you that you're free. You know you're free. But you know, even in a free world, we have to know how to make healthy decisions to keep you operating in the freedom that God has given you. I want you to say this with me after I say it. He whom the Son sets free, is free indeed. So if you know you've been set free by the Son of God, no matter what anybody else say, you just operate in your freedom. Now, I grant you, consciousness will let you know when you ain't free. And you trying to play pretend, I am free. There's something about the processing of the mind that lets you know where you really are. Whether you want to accept it or not. Okay? And that's where the confusion comes in. You're trying to pretend you're somewhere where you're not. And you get lost in the process, and then you're on the way. It does. It does. One of the strangest things that I've ever seen was to be on the psychiatric unit and watch somebody operate like an animal, a dog. And I have till yet to find out what in the world could happen to a person's mind that would take them so far back that they would believe that they are animals. Isn't they living low? Okay, that's all I wanted to say. You got to be extremely low to reduce yourself to that level. And I don't care who been calling you a dog. You ain't nothing but a dog. You know you ain't no dog. So why let somebody convince you something that you're not? Amen. Okay. We are going to begin to talk about one of the only ways that I have found that we can break every chain. And I'm sure you, as me, have found out that one of the ways to get delivered from all of the things that life imposes upon you and the things that enter your aura and your atmosphere is that if you abound in prayer, if you really communicate with God, if you get so you are able to be, how can I say this, transparent with God, that He can deliver you from anything the enemy has imposed in your life. And don't let anybody fool you. We all follow the same passage. We go through the same passages. So we ought to understand what somebody else is going through when they're having a bad issue. We ought to. But we like to play like we ain't been there. Oh, y'all, I told you, y'all, I'm having difficulty with y'all because I feel some unrealness in here. I feel some let me hide myself and keep on this mask. And then won't nobody know who I really am because they can't see me. But I want to let you know something. The Spirit of God gives us discernment. And even a man off the street can come in the church and identify the different spirits in the church. While we think we hid behind religiosity. So this morning, if you would just go with me and let's drop let's pretend. And go into the Spirit and ask God to do for us what is needed. Because we don't want to get caught up in the perils of this world. I don't know about you, but I don't. Anybody in here? Okay. I got up early this morning and I've been praying since even before I got here, asking God what to share. And I really didn't remember that I had been given a theme of break every chain. I know that we talked about slaying giants and that kind of thing, because right about now, the enemy is perpetrating our environment. Is that Elder Beard? No. Our environment and doing the same thing he's doing outside of the Christendom society to all of us. Okay? If he would go before God with the sons of God, like he's a part of them. He's like he was a part of the God family. And then when he got there, have good sense, Sister Virginia. God wasn't going to recognize him. And he said, God said, well, where you going? He said he wasn't scared. Somebody said he wasn't scared.
He wasn't scared.
He said, I'm going to and fro, seeking in whom I can devour. Well, you're doing the same thing right now.
He having a ball. He having a ball.
Since he has decided I'm going to revisit the earth and make them, I'm going to confuse them, I'm going to send them off into a tangent, even those who say they are believers.
Come on now.
Then God has permitted me to know we as the believer need to embrace and grab belief.
Yes.
And began to revisit the 3 P's of Pentecost. What are the 3 P's of Pentecost?